Hey everybody, just getting back from work. I did stop at Menards. They got some supplies, some lumber and some screws and stuff to do a project. I'm gonna maybe get started on tonight, and I'll tell you about here. This is my wood cutting area, wood splitting area, I guess. And I want to store my wood right here. Tiny house is just right there, so it's pretty convenient to come and get a carrier of wood, take it inside tiny house. But I have no shelter for my wood, and it's going to be really, no, it's not going to be, it's going to continue to be annoying if it's getting rained on and stuff. I got a piece of tin right here. You guys will probably see that I've used to cover some of the wood, but it's annoying. It's not a solution. It's a temporary fix at best. So I'm going to build a lean-to on the side of the shed here, so I can put my wood under it, and maybe, depending on how much wood I put in there, have a place to at least partially get my wood splitter out from under the weather, rain and snow and stuff like that. So I would like to do that. According to the sun, it's about 5:30 in the evening here, so I might run out of daylight and energy on the Thursday evening before I get to, and we'll see if I get to creating my lean-to, shed, wood storage, something or the other. So I guess there's nothing left to do except to get started. Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. You're probably still watching the same video. Anyway, hey everybody. So I'm going to continue with my little woodshed project. I think I've decided to just call it a woodshed rather than wood lean-to, or I don't know, miscellaneous building to protect wood. Woodshed seems like it'll be pretty good. So plan is basically to put a roof here and use some tin. I bought some lumber yesterday that I'm going to use. The barn here is just over 12 feet, so my 12 feet 2x4s should be fine for that, and then I'll come out 8 feet and have a couple of treated 4x4s at the end to hold it up this end, and I'll just screw the other side to the existing mini barn to hold it up. So I don't think it'll be an issue. Should be pretty quick. It's a nice day today. It's like 53 degrees out when I looked at the weather station a little earlier, so I'm going to enjoy this warm weather before some rain and wintry mix moves in this weekend. So first thing I need to do though is go over to the pile where the rest of this tin is at and measure it and make sure that I have 12 feet of tin. All right, the tin pile is right here. Get my gloves on so I hopefully don't cut myself. So it looks like I got the other piece of tin from out of here, but I really haven't been in here to see what is all involved in this. Oh, it goes way down there. There might just be a bunch of small pieces. I really don't know. Not really wanting to cut any of these, so I'm trying to figure out how maybe to overlap them and get them right. Those parts can't overlap on top because I don't want water to run into it. So I'm about 9.5 feet, so maybe. So I'm going to conclude that I got enough pieces around here to put a roof on a woodshed. So these are right at right at 8 foot long, and I think that'll work. Alright, so I'm just going to lay this out and give me a rough idea of what I'm looking at here. Alright, so I'm not really going to worry all about square, but it'll come into square as I need it to come into square. The dog stopped playing. So I will measure to make sure I get the cross member in place. And I got my screws. Hey, 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 hey. You're not helping the construction process at all. One thing that I found building here, running these screws in, is if you get started, don't start down here because you'll split the end of this wood more times than not, or at least that's my experience. So I just started at an angle, give it a little bit more wood to get to, and that ends up coming in like that. And I found that does just fine. I guess it takes a little bit off of the bite, but I found that does just fine. And don't like drill this all the way in so it ends up down here. You're more likely to split that and whatnot. And also another trick that I'm not using is if you get a short 2x4 and put under here, it'll keep that all level, but I think I'll do just fine like this. One thing too, that when I started building my tiny house, I had a DeWalt that was about 15 years old. I guess it was an 18-volt DeWalt, and I'd had to replace the battery on it a few times. It came with a reciprocating saw, but a half pint. But I went ahead and went out and got one of these driver. It was a drill, impact or a driver for screws and whatnot. And I tell you, it works pretty nice. I probably would have killed that old DeWalt putting a tiny house together, but except for the roof material, there isn't a nail in that thing. It's all screws, and it was all screwed in with this, and battery's still good and everything. So if you're going to start a big project and you don't have something like that, I'd suggest you go find one. So what I'm probably going to do is use that other 2x4 and put it up here so I have something to set my frame on temporarily while I get it up. I get the 4x4s figured out where I want them and in place, and then I can come back in and permanently screw the frame to the wall and then remove that 2x4 and use it for bracing. This by no means has to be centered. So yeah, I guess if you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're nailing into or screwing into a good framing member. You just don't want to do it onto the siding. Alright, now my thought on the whole matter is that 2x4 and those little screws I got in there are going to act like a hinge as I determine how far up I want this to be and get my 4x4s put in. So my original thought was to put these on the inside and then cut them so I could put the tin over the top of them. But then I'd be cutting a perfectly fine treated ground contact 4x4 and it's something other than an 8-foot 4x4. So now my thinking is I can put it on the outside and screw into it. And not ever cut this. And then if I move to my forever place and I want to do something different, I have two full-length 8-foot 4x4s to work with. I think that might be what I'm going to do. I almost will stand there. Stand there long enough to fall over, that's for sure. Stay back. Stay back. Now if my dogs were up here, I'd have to move off or put them inside because, like I said, that'll stand up just long enough to fall over. Make your level, and then measure out the end, and I've got about 5 3/4 inches, which that actually, that looks like a pretty good drop to me, and I'll only hit my head every once in a while, so I'm thinking this side needs to go down pretty good. Oh man, the tip to my bit just broke. I'm gonna have to go find more. So let's see, I have to remember where my bit tips are at.
Hi everybody, this is Chris. Thanks for watching the video. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. For everyone else, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below the video window. And to be notified whenever I post a new video, go ahead and hit the notification button as well. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next video.